Hey friends, welcome back to another video. Today's video is Plantmas Day 6, our second last Plantmas video for 2022. There'll be one more that I'm posting tomorrow, Christmas Day. But today it's time for some of y'all's favorite video from last year's Plantmas, my book bracket. I'm very excited to do this again. For anyone who's new or who might have missed last year's book bracket video, the whole purpose of this spread in my reading journal and this video is to help me determine my favorite book of the year. I am deeply indecisive, so trying to pick a favorite book of the year on my own is nearly impossible. But with the help of my trusty book bracket, it is much easier. And last year, y'all really enjoyed watching the process, listening to me, trying to figure out my favorite book. So this year, I thought I'd do the same thing, bring you in on the process, share the whole journey with you. And by the end of this video, we will have narrowed down my favorite book to one absolute favorite of 2022. I'm super excited, so without further ado, let's hop right in. For anyone who's unfamiliar with how this spread works, it's set up to do head-to-head battles between favorites. So starting with 12 favorites across the top, I'm gonna pick my favorite book that I read each month of this year, and then I'm going to pit them against each other in little head-to-head battles to go from 12 favorites to 6 to 3, and then the final 3 will go head to head for the winner. So starting in January, I'm going to use my phone to go back through and remember which books I read and which ones I gave 5 stars. It's so wild because the books I read in January, it feels like I read them 10 years ago or something. So I really need my list to help me out. Okay, so the books I gave 5 stars in January were Monstrous, Book 1 by Marjorie M. Liu, The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell, The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin, Broken by Jenny Lawson, Empire of Pain by Patrick Radden Keefe, and that's it. So I've got 5 5-star reads in January that I have to pick between. I think it's probably going to be between Broken by Jenny Lawson, which I absolutely adored. It's sort of like a nonfiction memoir humor. It won the humor category for the Goodreads Choice Awards in 2021. All about Jenny Lawson's experiences with her mental health. Super relatable, super hilarious. So Broken is definitely up there. And then as much as I really enjoyed Empire of Pain, I don't know that it would be my favorite read of the entire month, although it was very well done. That's another nonfiction about the opioid crisis in America. The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin was incredible. 2 essays. The Silent Companions is a horror novel that I adored, but I feel like I can eliminate that one as well. Monstrous is a graphic novel. I am obsessed with it. It was so good. So I feel like it's between Monstrous, The Fire Next Time, and Broken. And I feel like if I just had to answer as quickly as possible and I had to pick one, like if I could only have one of those 3 books to reread for my entire life, I think I would pick Broken. That's really hard though, because the other ones are so good too, but I think it has to be Broken. So that's my pick for my favorite for January, Broken by Jenny Lawson. I'm just going to write the titles in these boxes because they're pretty small. So we have our favorite for January, Broken. Moving on to February, my 5-star reads in February were Sorrowland by Rivers Solomon, The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin, and that's it. Just 2 5-star reads in February. And that is like an impossible decision because I adored both of those books so much. And N.K. Jemisin is probably, if not my most favorite author of all time, definitely up there in the top couple. And Rivers Solomon is like right up there too. I think the hardest thing is that I love both of those books for very similar reasons. They have kind of similar vibes. If you loved one, you'd probably love the other. Oh, this is so hard. Oh gosh, I don't know. I might have to go with The City We Became just because I love the cast of characters, and as much as I love the characters in Sorrowland, there are just fewer of them. It really focuses on the protagonist, and her kids are around, but they're not really fully fleshed characters. It's so deeply rooted in her perspective, which I love, but The City We Became has a bunch of different characters, and I love all of them, so I feel like, again, if I had to pick one to reread for my entire life, I feel like The City We Became would stay fresh for longer because it has multiple protagonists, multiple points of view. But that is so hard because I loved Sorrowland. But I think I have to give it to N.K. Jemisin. Once again, I feel like from now on till eternity, N.K. Jemisin is going to have written one of the books on this list. So yeah, I think it has to be The City We Became. Okay, so moving on to March, I have a couple favorites from March. The first was Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, and then also Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr, and then Puraka, which is a collection of short stories based on Maori oral tradition. So out of those three, that's going to be really hard because, again, three incredible books. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Oh my gosh, this is so hard. I love all three of those. Okay, if I close my eyes and try to clear my mind and then try to just pick one, which is the first one that comes to mind? I think it has to be Puraka because it just has so many different stories and each story on its own is super fascinating. And I feel like of the three, that's the one that I have the strongest urge to reread right away and want to sort of dive into each story individually. So I think it has to be the winner, but that is really hard yet again. Okay, moving on to April. My favorites in April. What did I give 5 stars? We've got, this one's much easier. I only had one 5-star read in April, and it was Gray Bees by Andrei Kurkov. So that's my favorite for April, Gray Bees. That was a great book that is written by a Ukrainian author. Highly recommend. Amazing. Okay, if only every month was as easy as April. Okay, moving on to May. So my 5-star reads in May were The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, Endurance by Alfred Lansing, The Yield by Tara June Winch, The Posthumous Memoirs of Bras Cubas by Machado de Assis, and On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. Oh my goodness, so many 5 stars. Okay, 5-star reads. Oh my god, how I'm gonna pick a favorite. Okay. Most of my favorites from this month came from my Reading Around the World challenge, which was wildly successful. I have a reading vlog for that video if you want to check that out. And then On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous was our book club pick for that month. So if our book club picks are really killing it in the first half of the year. Okay. Oh my goodness, how do I pick a favorite? They're all amazing. This is the struggle. None of those is better than the others, truly. Oh no. Okay, I'm trying to think of which one has really stuck with me the most, which one impacted me most deeply. And I would say probably either The Yield or On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous as far as like emotional impact. Which one was my favorite though? Oh God. I think maybe The Yield? Maybe? Oh gosh, that's so hard. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous is amazing. I'm not trying to diminish how good it is, but the yield really hit me. I think it has to be The Yield. I'm not going to second guess myself. I'm just going to do it. This is painful, but I think it has to be The Yield. Oh my god. Okay, if you want to hear my thoughts on The Yield and most of the other 5-star reads from that list other than On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, you can check out my reading vlog for my Reading Around the World challenge. I'll link that in the description box so you can watch that one. But yeah, read The Yield if you haven't yet. Okay. God, that was really hard. Okay, moving on to June. 5-star reads in June. I have only one. Again, oh my gosh, that's great. So much more helpful. Again, a book club pick. We read If Not Winter by Sappho, translated by Anne Carson, and I was obsessed. So If Not Winter, definitely my favorite in June. Okay, amazing. We're halfway through the first row. And I'm already stressing out. Okay, whew. Take a deep breath. 5-star reads in July. We have Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake, The Vegetarian by Han Kang, Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado, and Lucy by Jamaica Kincaid. Most of those, again, are from my Female Rage reading vlog, so I'll link that below as well if you want to watch me read 5 books that are classified as Female Rage, several of which became new favorites. Okay, so we've got a sapphic romance, we've got dark psychological thriller / commentary, we've got a collection of essays, and we have a coming-of-age story. All of them are amazing, but if I had to pick one favorite, I think it would have to be Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado. That collection was just over the top incredible. I'm obsessed with it. So yes, and I keep forcing people to read it. So Her Body and Other Parties, for sure. All the other ones are amazing as well, but Her Body and Other Parties is just on another level. Okay, moving on to August. 5-star reads in August, we had Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry, Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield, I'm Afraid of Men by Vivek Shreya, and Spirits Abroad by Zen Cho. Ooh, that's so hard. Okay, Spirits Abroad, again, a book club pick. Oh my goodness. Okay, Spirits Abroad is short stories based on Malaysian culture. I'm Afraid of Men is a memoir written by a trans woman of color. Our Wives Under the Sea is a sapphic horror. That was incredible. And then Legends and Lattes is a fantasy, like wholesome fantasy. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is really hard. Honestly, as much as I love the other 5 stars from this month, I think I have to pick Legends and Lattes. It was just so wholesome on another level. It made my heart so happy in a way that very few books do. I adored it, and I can't leave it off the list. I loved it so much. So Legends and Lattes has to be my pick. I feel like I keep saying this, but it does not mean that I don't love the other books that I gave 5 stars, because I adore them all. But Legends and Lattes just makes my heart so happy. Okay, moving on to September. I didn't read as much. I only finished 4 books in September. So I have 2 5-star reads from that month, Slewfoot by Brahm and Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Kimmerer. And this one for sure has to go to Braiding Sweetgrass. Again, a book club pick. The book club picks this year really hitting it out of the park. But Braiding Sweetgrass was incredible. It is our September winner. Moving on to October, we've got... Whoa, no 5-star reads in October? Hang on. Oh my goodness, I didn't give any 5 stars. Wow, I was feeling harsh in October. Okay, so I'm gonna go to 4-star reads in October since I didn't give any books 5 stars. So 4-star reads were Bliss Montage by Ling Ma, The Turn of the Screw by Henry James, In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead, and Dracula by Bram Stoker. So... Dracula, In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, The Turn of the Screw, and Bliss Montage. That is hard. Ooh. I like all of them, but again, the reason why I gave them 4 stars and not 5 is that there was something missing from each of them for me, obviously, like taking my own taste into account. So it's hard to pick an absolute favorite because every time I think about each of them, I think about the things that stopped me from giving them 5 stars. But which one was closest to 5 stars? That's hard. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm struggling. I think Bliss Montage. That's really difficult, but I think Bliss Montage was probably the closest. I would say it was probably like a 4.5. There were just 1 or 2 stories that didn't hit me the way that the others did, but that was a really tough one. Okay, moving on to November. We're getting close. This is the hardest part of the video, picking the favorites. I feel like the battles between them is not as hard. And as I say that, I'm remembering how hard it was last year. I feel like I'm going to regret saying that later because I'm going to prove that it's not true. But anyway, November. 5-star reads in November were The Secret History by Donna Tartt, Such Small Hands by Andre Barba, The Book Eaters by Sun Yudin, Vita Nostra by Marina and Sergei Dyachenko, and that's it. So Vita Nostra, The Book Eaters, Such Small Hands, and The Secret History. Again, 3 of those 4 were in my Dark Academia reading challenge / reading vlog, so I'll link that below as well if you want to watch longer form thoughts on those. Okay. Even though I gave The Secret History 5 stars, I think that's the first one to drop out of the competition because I really liked it, but it didn't hit me emotionally in the same way as some of the other stories. Vita Nostra also, as much as I loved it, didn't hit me quite as much emotionally. The characters didn't rope me in quite as much. Such Small Hands is up there, but it's also very short. It's a novella. So it's hard for it to compete with a full-length novel. I feel like The Book Eaters is going to be the winner, which I feel might be controversial because I know a lot of people didn't like The Book Eaters, but it just really worked for me. I really liked it. And I think it was my favorite in November. Last month of the year, December. Again, this is including all the books I finished up to today, which is 114. I will definitely read more before the end of the year, but I will be taking a break from making videos till the end of the year after these 2 videos go out, so I can only include the books I've read already, obviously. Okay, so 5-star reads from December so far. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana, and that's it. That was the only 5-star read so far in December. I guess I've been being pickier this month, or maybe I just haven't been reading as many 5-star reads. So that makes it very easy. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches is our winner for December. I don't know if I can fit the whole title in here, but I will try. The Very Secret, I think I might have to shorten it, Society of Eye Witches. And I can still barely fit it in here. Oh my gosh. Okay, I tried. Amazing. Whew. I feel like I need a reward now. Like, I want to make myself a hot cocoa as a reward for all that hard work. All right, next row. So now the challenge is pitting these against each other, head to head, and narrowing it down to 6 favorites for the year. So starting with our January and February picks, Broken and The City We Became. Oh my gosh. Okay, on the one hand, my gut is saying Broken, but my brain is saying, how could you possibly kick out an N.K. Jemisin book in the first round? But I think it has to be Broken. I'm just gonna do it. It was the first one that popped to my head. I really loved Broken. Moving on. I can't dwell, otherwise I'll go back and change my mind. Okay, March and April, Purakao and Grey Bees. I think it has to be Purakao. Also, forgive me if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. I looked up a pronunciation guide and practiced a bunch, but the sounds do not want to come out of my mouth. I'm trying really hard. Okay, moving on to May and June, The Yield and If Not Winter. Oh, I think it has to be If Not Winter. That's hard. They're both incredible, but reading Sappho's work is like transcendental. Okay, moving on to July and August. Her Body and Other Parties and Legends and Lattes. Oh gosh, okay. I love them both, but for such different reasons. Like Her Body and Other Parties was incredible, but definitely not feel good in any sense of the word. Whereas Legends and Lattes didn't make me think on the same level and didn't hit me in the gut in the same way. But it was so wholesome and made me so happy and was so warm and fuzzy and cozy and lovely. Oh, it's so much harder when the books are really different. Okay. I hope y'all are enjoying listening to my pain as I struggle so hard. Okay, Her Body and Other Parties, I adored. Legends and Lattes, I also adored. I adored them for different reasons. How do I decide which one is more worthy of moving on? I don't know. Literally impossible. I think I have to pick Her Body and Other Parties, which is kind of heartbreaking because I loved Legends and Lattes so much, and I feel like it shouldn't be kicked out so early. But I just don't think in good conscience I can push it forward at the expense of Her Bodies and Other Parties, so I'm just gonna do it. Moving on, we have September and October, Braiding Sweetgrass and Bliss Montage, and this one is so easy. Braiding Sweetgrass, 100%. Okay, final 2. November and December, The Book Eaters and The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. This is another tough one. I'm tempted to pick The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches just to have a wholesome pick get through to the next row because Legends and Lattes lost out, and I feel like those two kind of fit in a similar category for me of like really heartwarming, wholesome, happy books. So I think I'm going to go with A Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Try to write this long title in a small box yet again. Very Secret Society O-I Witches. Okay. All right, second row done. Moving on to the penultimate row of this book bracket, going from a top 6 to a top 3. So starting with Broken and Purakao, I don't That's really hard. Oh, that's really, really hard. Oh gosh, I don't know. My instincts are saying Puracao, so I'm gonna go with that. And just move on before I get too stressed. Okay, our next two, If Not Winter and Her Body and Other Parties. Oh god. Okay, how does one even begin? Like my brain is whirring. It's like like an engine revving, but not quite like kicking in. It's trying so hard, but it's not producing anything. I don't even, how do I even pick one of those? Ugh. Can't I pick both? Oh, okay. If I close my eyes and then I open them and I just really quickly try to pick one without letting myself overthink, which one do I pick? If Not Winter. I'm doing it. I'm not going to think about it too much. I'm just going to do it. That's my pick. It is what it is. Oh my god. Okay. Whew, last two for this row. Braiding Sweetgrass and The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. As much as I loved the second, it has to go to Braiding Sweetgrass yet again. That one was a much easier pick. Okay, we're down to three. Top three, we have short story collection based on Maori oral tradition. We have fragments of poetry by Sappho, and we have nonfiction about ecosystems and indigenous wisdom and how they interact with scientific fields. Okay, how do I pick one of the three of these? Okay, this is gonna have to be like I'm gonna have to meditate on it for a minute. All three are incredible. Obviously, they made it to the top three of the year for me, but if I had to just pick one, my favorite out of all three, I think it has to be Braiding Sweetgrass. I feel so bad saying that because the other two are amazing. But Braiding Sweetgrass was incredible, like on another level. I mean, all three of these are on another level. Obviously, all of these are on another level, but Braiding Sweetgrass impacted me in such a profound way that it would be really hard for anything else to beat it out, you know? I think it has to be Braiding Sweetgrass. So I'm gonna actually use a thicker nib. I've been using my 005 to try to fit my writing in these small boxes, but I'm gonna switch to a slightly thicker nib so it looks a little bolder, a 01. And I'm going to try to fit the title and the author in this box. So Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. Robin Wall Kimmerer. And that's it. Oh my gosh. Was that faster than last year? It feels faster. I think I got better. I think practice is helping. And the spread in general is helpful. Oh my gosh. We have a winner. My favorite book of 2022, Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. That feels right, honestly. Like when I say that, I don't feel like unwell. So that is it. That's my book bracket. Thank you for hanging out with me while I hummed and hawed and agonized over every decision. I feel really good about this. I'm glad to know my favorite book of the year. It feels right. And it is great to feel really confident in it because I know that there is little to no possible chance that anything I read for the rest of the year could possibly beat out Braiding Sweetgrass. So I can feel pretty good about that. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me for Plantmas Day 6. Only one more video to go. My January plan with me, which is going up tomorrow. I know a lot of people are busy on Christmas Day, those who celebrate, so don't feel rushed to watch it right away, but hopefully you'll add it to your watch later and watch it sometime before the new year. I think y'all will like what I'm doing for January. But that is it. I'm so excited. If you haven't entered the giveaway from Plantmas Day 3, which was my new bullet journal setup video, make sure to go enter that giveaway. The deadline is tomorrow, December 25th. That's when I'll be picking a winner, so make sure to watch that. And while I'm away from this channel for a couple weeks, taking a much needed rest, be sure to go back and watch any of the Plantmas videos you missed. I really appreciate your support. And if you are a book lover like I am, which I imagine you probably are if you watch this whole video, add all of these books to your TBR because they're all incredible and you should definitely read them. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll see you really, really soon tomorrow for our last day of Plantmas 2022. Bye, friends.